Hey guys, welcome to another video, like a vlog, I guess. For the last couple of days, I was thinking about what I should talk about for this vlog or whatever, and I decided to go with something that wasn't like how I was last time when I was talking about my health. Not in the best of moods, but I can take what I can get. So I'm feeling a little bit better, and I decided to go ahead and talk about how I got into the show Supernatural. Well, how I found out about the show, and I have to go all the way back to 2004, a year before Supernatural started. You see, there was a little known movie or little known remake called House of Wax that had people like Paris Hilton, Chad Michael Murray, and Alicia Dusko, I think, Alicia Cuthbert, I think. And, it came and went. They were the only names I could come up with. But I knew about, there was this other name. His name was Jared Padalecki, and the names kind of stuck around me a little bit, but not completely. Like, it didn't overtake my whole life or anything, but it's like, Jared Padalecki, okay, I guess, but I never heard of anything. And then time passes. I went to high school, I went to college, I started, that year where I was trying to find work, and then I went to, what began to work and whatever. And so in 2014, or yeah, around 2014, I think, or 2015, 2014, 2015, whatever, or I don't know when, but I used to work Saturday mornings, every day, no, every Saturday I work in the morning, so from 6:30 to 3, so I had to get up really early at around 4 or 3:30 to prepare, and it took me about 20 minutes to get ready, change clothes, even though I knew what I was gonna wear, um, brush my teeth. That takes me 20 minutes. And I said, you know what? My neighbor used to drop me off at work because we work at the same place. And I was like, yeah, okay, fine. I have to get out in a couple of hours, get out of the house in a couple of hours, so I'll just kill time, just chill for a bit before I do anything else. Like, I'm already ready for work. So what happened was, I was in my basement. I was watching TV while I was playing one of the Mass Effect games or video games in general. And then I just had the TV turned on. I was like, okay, here's much music or whatever. And then this show comes along, and it's an episode of Supernatural. I'm like really intrigued. I don't know which episode it was, but I know it was one of the first three episodes I watched out of order, and I did this for three straight weeks. The like I can remember the first three episodes that I kind of watched, but I was mostly paying attention to the video game. I watched the second episode. I watched the episode, the Changing Channels episode, and the episode where everybody has come back to life, but they start being zombies. They start out normal, but then they can become zombies and want to eat people and whatnot. So those are the three episodes I pretty much watched, and I'm like, okay, I'm just gonna go ahead and just watch, start watching or whatever. So I took my laptop. I went to I took my laptop with me. I went to work first, and then I went to the library and I downloaded the very first episode of Supernatural just to see how it was. And I came back home right here and I just watched the first episode. And I'm like, okay, this is pretty good. I'm just gonna go ahead and get more. I'm just gonna watch more. And so for a while, since I didn't have internet back then, I didn't have internet here back then, I had to go to the library. I decided, I'm just gonna go ahead and just download a few more episodes at a time. So I started every time I went to the library, I downloaded several episodes of Supernatural, and then in the meantime, I'd watch one episode at a time. One episode I had on my laptop already, just to catch up to things. Now, at this point, as I saw in a comment, on the comment section of the Kansas song, "Carry On My Wayward Son," and judging by the comments, I think I just got into it just when season 9 ended. A couple of weeks, I think, I'm not sure, probably, yeah, exactly around the time season 9 just ended. and I'm like, oh damn it, I think I just got spoiled some things. And yeah, I just started watching more and more. I just, without any spoilers or whatever, I just got into more and more. And turned out my friend Agnes is into the show too. And when we started talking, like she was into it for a while before I was, and I just happened to found this by accident you know, due to me waking up early in the mornings. And so I just kept watching, and I watched constantly, like every day before I went to work, and I went out after I came home. When I came home before I left for work, and then when I came home, that's what I was watching. And I did that for the first 5.5 seasons, and then I stopped because it was just exhausting. I'm like a few episodes into season 6, I'm like, okay, I know this is the end. Technically, I know this should be the end of the show. I could just stop, but I'm like, yeah, I just gonna need a break. And then eventually, I got into it again. And then season 9 happened, and I'm like, okay, this is the worst season of the show. I know there are people out there who probably would agree with me, and I just kept watching and watching. And by the time, I think I got caught up just when the 203rd episode came out, and I'm like, okay, I'm good. I'm good right now. And I'm like, I was in here, and I'm officially caught up, and I'm like, yes, I did it. I actually caught up with it. It took me 4 or 5 months to get to this point, but I finally did it. And I'm like exhausted. I'm like, okay, I finally did this. And so I did constantly keep current with it throughout the rest of season 10 and all of season 11. And then I watched the first episode of season 12, and then I stopped. First episode on time, and then I watched the next 3 episodes on later dates, and I'm like, okay, maybe I shouldn't do this. I need a break. Because after binge watching that many episodes, that many half-hour episodes at a time, it's like, okay, it's going to be exhausting. And so I didn't watch it again until season 13 just finished. And then, like, I was over at my friend's house before she went to redo her tattoo. And what happened was, like, we were just killing time. I'm like, okay, I'm going to go on Netflix. I'm like, oh, Supernatural's on Netflix. And so I started off where I left off. I picked up where I left off, and I'm like, okay, I'm going to get into this. I'm going to try to get into this. And when I got home later that day, I'm like, I'm going to go ahead and just catch up to everything. I'm just going to catch up to everything. And I did until season 13 ended. I caught up with season 13 about 3 weeks before the next season. 3 weeks or a month or so before the next season would start. And here's the thing. As of right this moment, I have not watched a season 14 episode. I haven't started watching season 14 yet. No spoilers, please. But I could have actually started watching while it was going on. But the thing is, here's the thing. My friend Agnes stopped watching the show at season 10 because she just got exhausted with it, and I did too. But I got into it okay. But the reason why I didn't watch any more of that right now, and I want to again, is because there's somebody on Twitter who is catching up right now. She is, I think, on season. I think she's finished season 12. No wait. She already watched the Scooby Naturals episode. So it's season 13. So she's almost done, and I want to wait for her to catch up so we could actually talk it out on Twitter, just so we can, like, because we've already done this before. Like, I know 2 people who I don't know in real life who watch the show a lot, and from this other person's tweets, it's like, okay, I want to watch the season with her. I just want to just watch it along with her, just so we can share back and forth on Twitter. Not even, I don't know if it's DMs or just flat out public tweets, but I just want to watch the rest of the show and just live tweet it on Twitter with her, just because just because I want that. And I know as of right now, season 14 is starting right now. No, season 14 is rolling along right now, and it's been renewed for a 15th season. I'm like, holy crap, that is insane. And here's the thing, like, I know I'm just talking about the show right now, but here's the thing. Ever since I halfway caught up with the show, I've been seeing a lot of supernatural things. Like, I've seen posters, I've seen DVDs, I've seen, like, everywhere, especially Hot Topic, but everywhere here's the thing, even in Hot Topic, before I started watching the show, I didn't even see any supernatural stuff. And now I'm watching the show, I'm like, where is this coming from? Is this a thing now? I'm like, oh my god. Me and Agnes even have a necklace ring where inscribed in both of them are the words bitch and jerk, which are the nicknames Sam and Dean give each other, because it's funny. And yeah, we both have rings on it. Mine is on the doorknob right here, right now. And yeah, we. The funniest thing is, like, she calls me a bit. Like, here's the thing, she calls me a bitch, and I call her a jerk. And she's like, "Why you call me?" Like, I think one point I'm like, "Haha, get it, supernatural." And she's like, "Wait, what?" Like, yeah, because they call each other bitch and jerk. And she's like, "Oh, I just call you a bitch just because, but I forgot that they like called each other bitch and jerk." It's like, oh, okay, so you've always called me okay, fine. I gotta think of something else then. And on top of that, I never knew, like, I didn't know about the fandom at all until, like, I got into it. Like, I'm not saying that the show is perfect. It's far from perfect. Season 9, season 7. I'll get into that a little later. But I never knew about the fandom until I saw Tumblr. The whole Super Hulock thing, and I'm like, okay, this is actually quite interesting, considering that Mark Sheppard plays Crowley on Supernatural, and he did a guest spot he was a character at some point, a one-shot character on Doctor Who. If he was on an episode of Sherlock, I'm like, everybody is gonna be freaking the hell out, which is gonna be fine with me. And so, yeah, I'm actually appreciative with the fandom, and like, there is actually I actually want to like discuss things about Supernatural with somebody online, preferably one of the two girls who actually like tweet about the Supernatural, and I don't want to watch the whole thing again because it was exhausting the first time around, and I don't want to redo the same problems again. And yeah, that's pretty much my expertise. Like, I'm not part of the fandom. I'm just a casual fan and whatnot, like a casual watcher, not a big time fan, but casual watcher who will watch it until the show goes into its 20th season. Eventually, it has to end. It's over 300 episodes. So here's the thing. Like, it's my opinion right now, and I know there's going to be a lot of crap. So here's the thing. Everybody knows, like, the first 5 seasons are great. The third season is a bit wonky, but it's understandable, mostly because the writer's strike happened. Like, for those of you who don't know, like, the third season picks off where the second season left off, with Dean Winchester selling his soul and whatever, and he only has a year to live. But the thing is, if it weren't for the writer's strike, he would have not went to hell. Like, notice, like, for the first few seasons, the first 2 seasons, season 4 through 6 had 22 episodes, season 3 had 16 episodes, because of the writer's strike. If you notice, like, the first 12 episodes moved fairly decently, and then the last 4 episodes were pretty much, well, the 13th episode, fine, that's understandable, because of what was it called? What was that? Mystery Spot episode was fine. It's just that the last 3 episodes were pretty much rushed because of the writer's strike. And if there was no writer's strike, it would have been a 22 episode season. And by the second last episode, Dean would have beaten his contract, and he would have escaped from his contract, and that would have been fine. The third season is fine. It's just that it was hindered by the writer's strike. Then that's fine. The next two seasons were fine too. Season 6, here's the thing. It is a flawed season, but I really enjoyed that because, um, as you know, spoilers for anybody who hasn't seen season 6. Sam goes to hell. Sam comes back from hell after being in hell after season 5, and he comes back soulless. And that was supposed to be the main plot for the entire season. And from what I watched from that season, from everything that had something to do with Sam being soulless, that was great. I genuinely liked it. It was lighthearted. It was dark. I like to say that it was kind of on par with the last 5 seasons, but fans at the time are like, "Oh, this is bad. Why? We don't want this." And so the writers had to wrap. It's both the writers and the fans' fault. The writers shouldn't have buckled down on the fans because the fans are like, "Oh, this isn't a good idea." It's like, yeah, it was a great idea. I mean, I didn't watch the show back when season 6 was airing, but it was a great idea. Having Sam run around soulless and they're trying to get it back, it would have been great for the entire season. And then they had to wrap it up because of fan reaction, and season 6 kind of meandered a little bit for a while until they made a main character the bad guy, and it was kind of like, it's like, yeah, it was fine. It's just that, I wish there would have been something. I mean, as of this, season 6 is fine. It's just that I was just wishing that it would have been the entire season and the writers didn't buckle down to pressure. And then season 7 happened. I'm gonna say something. Season 7 started off fine. It was a came off with a cliffhanger of season 6, and from the moment, here's the thing, and it was fine. The first episode is fine. I could watch it anytime I want. But the moment Castiel and Crowley are gone, from the moment Crowley disappears and Castiel goes, drowns himself into water in that pool or river or whatever, it just kind of goes downhill because Cass's absence in season 7 makes it just a flat line. Season 7 is boring to me, in my opinion. Season 7 is boring. I get flat out bored. I get it. They had to drastically, cut down characters because it would have been piling up more and more. But at least have something interesting. Before Crowley and Cass came along, it was mostly on the brothers, and it was a fine relationship. The show was fine, and then season 7, it was just dull and lifeless. And when Crowley actually finally came back for an episode, I'm like, oh, thank God, there's life here. And then when Cass came back, it's like, oh, there's even more better life here. And then season 7 was so boring, it made Dean meeting Elliot Ness as a hunter boring. I didn't enjoy it because the rest of the season was so boring. I'm like, something's off about this episode or whatever. Something is really off. I'm not enjoying it as I should. If it was a season 6 episode, it would have been a lot better or something. But I've watched that episode at least 3 times and I'm not getting enjoyment out of this. And then season 7 is ended with season 7 ended fine. It's just compared to the other seasons, it's whatever. And then season 8 came, and it was a mixed bag. Sam's plot about Sam not coming back, Sam not looking for Dean in Purgatory, Dean or Cass in Purgatory. I understood why he did it. It's just that the reason why he did it is just an idiot move because he wouldn't do that. Even the actor Jared Padalecki is like, no, I really hated that plot line because it was so out of character for my character, and a lot of people agreed. And that being said, the Purgatory plot lines were actually really good. There's a YouTube edit together with Dean and Cass in Purgatory, and that would have been a great season. Just leave them there and let Sam do hunting on his own while he's trying to get his brother. And then halfway through the season, they would have escaped purgatory, went back to Sam, and then did the trials, the 3 trials of hell, to closing the gates of hell. And yeah, it would have been fun. Season 8 would have been fine. Too bad it was just a mixed bag because, Sam was out of character for a while and Dean was, kind of pushed into the background a little bit compared to Sam. And, and I did like Crowley as the bad guy, but that's pretty much a lot I can take because season 8, Crowley is like destroying their work. He's destroying the Winchesters' work, and it's like, yeah, he's destroying it through books from this guy Chuck, who's pretty much a prophet of the Lord, who turned out to be God, but that's another story. The prophet of the Lord at the time, and he's just destroying their life's work, and I was like, oh my God, like, this is actually really intense, and he's killing people who are close to them, and it's like, oh my God, he's actually really good. And then he gets caught by the Winchesters, and they forego any way to kill him. And, everybody likes Crowley. Yeah, everybody really likes Crowley, but I agree that he should have been killed at season 8 because there's no use for him. Like, he's killed a lot of people that the brothers have cared about. Like, a lot of people. And that means that he should be dead at that point. They should be killing him, not, like, sticking him in the basement or the bunker or wherever. And that's, like, my main concern. Like, he was great in Season 8. Like, he was a bright spot in Season 7 because it was so dull. Season 6, like, he's a popular character. We're just going to give him a recurring role in that. And he was in Season 5, and he was kind of popular, and he was funny in that, too. And in Season 8, it's like, okay, he's a real bad guy. He's just going at it. He's just full-on evil. He's pretty much irredeemable. And then, like, they don't kill him. That's the problem. They should have killed him at Season 8. But, the last few minutes of Season 8 are great. With Heaven going to shit. Yeah, that was actually a pretty good season finale, in my opinion. And then Season 9 happened. All the worst qualities that happened, all the worst qualities of Supernatural are just repeated in this season. To the point where there are 2 breather episodes in a row, and the plot just stalls, / there is no plot for a while. Now, if you don't know the term breather episode is when there's an episode of a show that is light and softer compared to, like, the main plot that is pretty much dark. It's like Supernatural, like, here's the thing, it's like dark episode, and then you just need a breather. Just something light and spacey to like put it out, like just let it out, let it breathe, let everything be fine, and then next week we'll deal with the plot. And that's what Supernatural did great, like putting the breather episodes because like it gets dark, but it's like okay, it's gonna get dark here, but we're gonna put in a little something light-hearted. It could be serious sometimes, but we're just going to put something very lighthearted here. But Season 9, not only was there not much of a plot, but there were 2 breather episodes in a row, which means that, yeah, even the writers didn't know what to do at that point. It's like, okay, Sam's possessed by an angel because, well, his body needs to heal after what happened he did with Season 8. And it's like his body needs to heal. And so like the thing was like, and the lying between the brothers that's the thing. The problem with the show pretty much always had was one brother keeps a secret, it becomes harder and harder to take, and then the other brother finds out about the secret. They fight, they don't get along. It just keeps sucking up like multiple times, and everybody knows it's like a third act breakup. It's like you lied to me. I hate you, I'm leaving, okay, I'm back, I forgive you, I know what I did. And it kept going. The first couple of seasons, fine, that's fine. Like, I understand. Hell, Season 6, when Sam finally tells Dean that he lost his soul, totally understandable. I totally get it. And Dean has trust issues, fine. Actually, you know what? That is the greatest reason not to trust somebody, your brother on the show. It's like, oh, you're hiding something. It's like, no, it's did you kill somebody? Well, I killed a couple of people. Well, I am soulless. And like, yeah, that's a good reason why not to trust him. It's like, I don't like how Dean beat the shit crap out of Sam, but he was soulless, so fine. It's just that, okay, fine, that's fine. That's a totally legitimate reason. Like, it's like, oh, you're soulless? Bam! I can't trust you because you were here. You didn't say anything. You didn't cut. You came back for a year. You didn't say anything. You actually didn't say anything to me. Everybody else knew where you were, and you didn't say anything to me. And you're soulless, and you did all these horrible things to people. Holy crap! And yeah, I do get why Dean actually ended up like not trusting soulless Sam, because it's like, would you trust him after all the crap you heard about him? It's like, he did what without a soul? And it's like, yeah, okay, that's totally understandable. Then season 9, it's like, oh, Dean is hiding a secret from Sam, and it's like, oh, I hate this. It's like, oh god, I hate this. And to the point where I didn't even care about the season 9 finale. Like, season 7 was dull, but at least it kind of got better over time. Then season 9 happened, and it's like, I don't care. I mean, and at least season 10 got better. At least, like, yeah, they're keeping secrets, but at least they're getting along. And I don't have much to say about season 10, actually, because, you know, it's flawed. But, you know, they got back on track. At least they're getting along instead of fighting every single time. Then season 11 happened and, you know, got back on track. A little bit flawed. Again, better than season 10. A little flawed, but you know what? After season 9, every other season is better. As long as it's not as dull as season 7 or as bad as season 9. But, yeah. So, season 12 and 13 are okay. I mean, the highlight is Scooby Natural from the past 2 seasons. Then, and, you know, there are some highlights here and there. Not many memorable episodes, but, you know, it's just riding along a line. Not the flat line like season 7, but the quality is still wavering in some places, you know. But it's still an interesting show to watch, and I'll watch it as soon as the person who I'm talking to on Twitter can actually, like, get forward with it so I can watch it with her, so I can actually catch up to it. Because the season is 20 episodes, I can get it done by, I don't know, a couple of weeks. Give me a week. Give me a week or 2, and I'll watch the entire season when it ends. When the season ends. And then season 15 is going to happen. So, yeah. That's Supernatural. That's my Supernatural video, how I got into it, the fandom, and my opinions on it season by season. Or, like, you know, bare notes season by season. So, this has been a Supernatural vlog. If there's another TV show that you want me to talk about, how I got into, I don't know, tell me about it. Like, I want to do more of these vlogs or whatever, because I already do enough things, like talk about music videos, and I used to talk about movie reviews, and I just talk about songs and memories, and albums and memories and whatnot. And I just want to, like, you know, if you have a show that I probably watched, then go ahead and just tell me, because I talk about anything on this channel. So, until then, thank you for watching. Take care.